Hey Treasure Tribe, it's Dana here. I apologize, I'm coming to you a little later in the day. I had intended to start this video a little while earlier, but I'm here in my car in the rain while my son is at CCD multitasking, which we're going to talk about in a second, and I broke my little thingamajigger to hold my phone up, so I'm just gonna go live and I'm holding it, so hopefully I will keep it steady while I talk today to you guys. Say hi if you're here, and someone just confirm I'm broadcasting in the right spot with the Treasure Tribe. So I'm pretty sure I am, but you know, I'm a little bit of a hot mess this moment, which is kind of funny given what I'm talking about with you today. But this week, I really wanted to focus on time management and productivity and how we really fit everything in for our businesses around our busy lives. And so I wanted to share today 5 tips with you about kind of how I juggle everything and fit it all in. And hopefully some of these, okay, thanks, Susan. Hopefully some of these are going to address, I know on Monday I asked you guys what your top concerns or challenges were around productivity and time management in your business. So I want to make sure that I'm addressing some of those key points too. So my first tip is that in order to make room for all of your business building activities in your schedule, you need to find the space and eliminate some things that maybe you're currently doing. Because my guess is that there's nobody in this group who has an overabundance of leisure time on their hands that is like looking for stuff to fill time. Most people I know are usually overscheduled, overworked, have a lot of things in their busy schedules, and have a hard time finding time. And so what you kind of have to do is really strategically think about what you could eliminate. So some things that I have eliminated over the last, couple of years of my life. Many of you probably see, if you're friends with me on Facebook, I do like my meal planning Mondays. So one thing I've eliminated is like multiple grocery shopping trips during the week and not having things planned in advance, which requires me to run these, errands that I hadn't anticipated. So I posted about this on Facebook on my personal page the other week, but I have like a process in place for how I do my grocery shopping on Sunday nights. I do everything online. I order through all the stores that I shop from. And on Monday morning after I drop the kids to school, I pick up all the groceries for the week. And that's my main grocery shopping because I've meal planned. And then I usually do like one quick shop in the middle of the week to grab any extra, produce or fresh items that I need, but that's pretty much it. So I've eliminated that from my schedule, which is a lot of time I save from running to the grocery store and going through the aisles and finding things and all of that. 2, I've actually eliminated, I used to have a lot of different like beauty appointments during the month. I used to get regular pedicures and manicures and waxing and all of that. And it was great, but I was finding because of where I live, everything is like a half hour away. So I was wasting like an hour every time I was going to an appointment. And I just decided that at this particular point in my life with my kids' schedules and my schedule, I couldn't fit it in. So I do my nails at home now. And I usually do my nails, I multitask. For anyone on my team, you'll find this funny, but usually I actually do my nails during coaching calls because I don't want to be on my computer. I want to be distracted by things, and it's just something that I can brainlessly do. So I just kind of do it while I'm focused attention on the conversation at hand. So that's where I fit that in. The only appointment I still do is I do a weekly blowout. You can see I need my blowout tomorrow. That's why my hair is in a ponytail. And that actually saves me a half hour a day of doing my hair, and I get it blown out once a week, and that is it. I do not wash my hair during the week. So that's my tip of that. Trainings. So we have a lot of training available to us at Park Lane, trainings with the Treasure Tribe, all of that. I very rarely will listen live because I just don't have the time. So my car is like my portable university. So I will listen to the recordings while I'm driving. I will do it while I'm cleaning. While I'm cleaning the bathroom, I will put on a training recording. While I'm making dinner, I will put on a training recording. While I'm doing my makeup. So anything that doesn't require, kind of like the nails, that doesn't require focused thought, I can listen and do that and multitask. Also, volunteering at the school. I do still volunteer at my kids' schools, but I've been much more strategic about what I do. I can't volunteer for everything. You just can't do it all. So I have prioritized to one main volunteer activity at each kid's school during the year. My son and I do the talent show. My daughter's school, I've strategically chosen to partner, co-chair a fundraiser, which is their largest fundraiser. It's actually strategic related to my business because it's their largest fundraiser. They raise about $100,000 every year doing it. And so I feel like I'm going to pick up some tips on fundraising, and it's kind of like a well-oiled machine. So I'm jumping into a process that someone else already built. And I just feel like it's a great social activity too, to get to know a lot of different people. So strategic for my business. And then I will volunteer at anything where I'm going to physically see them face to face. So walkathons or field day or something like that, where I'm going to be able to physically spend time with my child, I will volunteer at that. But everything else is off the table. I just have to say no to it. Social media and TV. I know we can often get distracted by social media. I am on social media a lot, but I try to be very focused with my time there. I can't just mindlessly let myself scroll because I will get lost in cute cat videos and whatnot. So I sort of use it as, I know someone else had mentioned this as a challenge. I use it as a reward for myself. So if I, finish an activity that requires a lot of focus, I'll let myself spend like 15 minutes on Facebook, or I will sometimes during lunchtime scroll around, or definitely at the end of the day after I finished all my stuff for the day. That's when I really unwind and I scroll through. So that's like the mindless social media, as opposed to being strategic with, posting for my business or engaging with my audience there. And TV too. I only let myself watch TV for a short little period of time at night after the kids have gone to bed, after I've gone to bed and everything is over. So those are some ideas for things to sort of eliminate. So you have to create the space. Like if you're going to add 3 hours a week of focused work, you have to take out of your schedule 3 hours of something else. So you have to figure that out first, how you're going to make the space for your work. 2, the next thing that I think is really important is to really think about, and we always talk about this, your why. Like, what is it, why are you in this business? What are you focused on? What are your goals for this, let's say, holiday season? If it's to pay for a vacation or to pay for the holidays, or if there's a specific amount of money in mind, what is that why? What is your goal? And then really kind of think about how much time you have available to yourself to work for that why. And does the goal and the amount of time that you have to spend on it, do they make sense, right? So if your goal is to earn, an extra $1,000 a month, you can certainly do that in 3 to 5 hours a week, doing one style session a week. But if your goal was to earn $5,000 a month, you probably can't do that in 3 to 5 hours a week. So you kind of just want to make sure that they really match up. Hey, Allie, thanks for joining. So that's the second tip. The third is to block your time and batch your tasks. And so I kind of see time management like a puzzle. You have to really figure out, and this takes a little while. You have to I give myself like a day to do this. And I do it kind of seasonally. So I just did it like at the beginning of the fall because schedules change and whatnot. So I had to strategically look at my whole week and look at what activities need to happen in that week and what activities need to happen every day, because I do this business, full time. And so I sometimes, if I didn't plan my time right, it could be, like 1 p.m. and I haven't even showered yet or made dinner and I'm running out for the rest of the night. And so I have to make sure everything's built in there like a little puzzle. And I will share, after I leave, I'm actually, like I said, multitasking in the parking lot before I pick up my son from CCD. But when I get home, I will post a sample of what I call my time map. And literally you will see that I have blocked out every day time for everything that really needs to get done. The things that are most important priorities. Now, every day, I'm not going to tell you that every day looks exactly how I have blocked it. But I will sometimes have to move things around. But for example, I know on Monday is my follow-up day, my customer follow-up. So if I have an appointment, let's say I have a doctor appointment scheduled during that time, I know I have to move that somewhere else. And I do have some open blocks of just work time and home time to, get other things done, because things come up in our lives and in our days, and there are all kinds of things that come up. But I know that I have to move those things around strategically because they all have to fit in the same day. My schedule is a little crazy. We all have crazy schedules, but I usually leave my house at 2 and I don't usually get back till about 7 because of school pickup and children's activities. So I know everything has to basically happen before 2, including, making dinner, anything that has to be done around the house, showering, most of my work. I will talk about how I fit other work in different pockets of time too, but I also take advantage of things like today while my son's at CCD, or my son plays hockey. He has 3 practices a week. I ask any one of the parents at that hockey practice every single time he has hockey practice. They have a little observation room. It's the warm room where there's a window and you can watch the practice. And I sit myself there with my laptop. And that's usually when I do kind of my power hour, focus hour of the day, whatever activity I'm focused on. I personally like to do the same activity for a longer period of time as opposed to do, so for example, for like reaching out for booking, I try to get to 10 people a week. Some people are better doing like 2 a day. I am better banging out 10 at one time. It's just my personality and how it works. You got to figure out what works for you. But for example, Monday, I do all of my customer follow-up. So that's where I have that 2-2-2 system. I've talked about it before here. I do all that on Monday. Tuesday, I work on recruiting activities. Wednesday, I do administrative things in my business, and I track my finances and look at numbers and things like that. Thursday, I do team things, and then Friday is when I do all of my booking. For me, I'm in a good mood on Friday. I feel like other people are in a good mood on Friday, and that's usually just when I reach out and do all of that. You've got to figure out the schedule that works for you. I'm just kind of sharing a sample of kind of how I divide and conquer on my activities. I also see when I post my time block, you'll see I get up. My daughter has to get up at like 5:15 in the morning, so I get up with her mainly just to keep her awake so she doesn't fall back asleep. So I use that as work time, but I try to put things that are like more mindless and on autopilot there. So that's when I do, and we'll talk about processes in a second, but I do my hostess coaching. So I have like a very sort of systematic way I hostess coach, and I'll just look at the date and be like, okay, for example, today was the 9th. So I have a little spreadsheet that tells me for each hostess what needs to happen, if there's something that needs to happen on this day, and it's just easy. Like I'm like, okay, I send my 7 days out message to this person here. I'm sending my, it's the day after your trunk show message to this person here. I am closing this person's trunk show, so I'm going to send her how you place your hostess order message. So if that makes sense to you, it's on autopilot and I can do it very quickly. So I do hostess coaching in the morning. I do team check-ins in the morning, just little things, checking in on style sessions and, how things are going and tracking toward goals. And I do social media stuff where I just plan my posts for the day. They're already kind of planned in advance, but I just make sure everything is, I have all the wording written out for what I'm going to post. And if it's to my group page, I set those up in advance. You can pre-schedule them. For my personal page, I don't usually do that. But I will write everything out that I'm going to do, and then I will just copy and paste at the appropriate time throughout the day, so that I kind of set all that up in the morning. And then I always do birthday messages on Facebook in the morning too. I send private messages. It's kind of strategic because the algorithm will then show a connection between you, and then they'll likely see more of my posts over the next few days after that. So it's one of the reasons I do that. It's also for, just in terms of building relationship with people. And if those people are my customers, just a kind thing to do is to wish them a happy birthday on their birthday. I also do like a birthday special for my customers their month. But anyhow, I do all that in the morning. So you'll kind of see in there how everything really fits in, but I use like every pocket of time to get something done that is strategic. I'm just looking at my notes here to make sure I have, I think that's everything for point 3. Okay, point 4 is I like to systematize everything. If there's any activity, whether it be in my personal life or my professional life, that I'm going to do more than once, especially over and over several times, I just want a process for it. I want to know exactly how I'm doing it. I want to copy paste. Obviously I personalize things a little bit, but I want like a template. I want a thought starter. I do it for everything, even my personal life. So like in my personal life, like I said, I've got my grocery planning process. I have my grocery checklist. I have my meal planning process. I have checklists and meal plans, weekly meal plans, to last, through the century. Like I have so many recipes. There are sometimes like I don't make a meal for like 5 years. Like I have a lot of them, but it's all organized, and so I don't have to think about that. I have a cleaning schedule, what I do in my house on different days of the week. Even things like Christmas. I've got a checklist for Christmas of all the things that need to happen because I do Christmas every year, like we're going through the same motions every year. I want to not let something slip through the cracks. In terms of work, having templates for things. Like I said, my hostess coaching process. I have certain things I do, like when I set up the show, a few days after I send out the initial, here's how you invite people, checking in to see how the RSVPs are going. Then like 7 days out, 5 days out, 3 days out, day before, day of, day after, day that we're closing the show. I kind of have different things that happen, and the way I organize it is just in a little spreadsheet where I have like the hostess name at the top, all of the things that need to happen, and when I book the show, I put in the dates. So if your show is today, October 9th, I will put in 10/9 under day of message. And so that's what I was saying, like in the morning, it's very, like I don't have to think about it. I know what I'm doing. And again, templates for all those messages. New stylist onboarding. I have a very specific process that I use when I onboard new stylists. I have like a series of 4 calls in those first 4 weeks, and I have bullets of everything I cover on those, every template I send them, what I'm, just to make sure nothing is falling through the cracks. Recruiting. Someone requests information. I have a template of like, it's just in my notes on my phone, like, great. Here are, a few pieces of information I think you'll find helpful. Boom, 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 boom. Let's, set up a call so I can, answer any questions that you have after you take a peek at those. So that's my message for that. I have a way that I conduct my calls when I kind of do, whether it's a recruiting call or a 3-way call with someone on my team. There's something that, I kind of have just the systems that I follow. Booking, same thing. I try to keep words to say in one document so I can, I can grab them. I'll use holiday words to say that I used last holiday season and things like that strategically. January, New Year, I can kind of repurpose some of that stuff. My follow-up process, like I said, I have that 2-2-2 follow-up process. 2 days from the order, 2 weeks from the order, 2 months from the order, and then every 2 months afterwards. So I have templates, for some of that stuff. My birthday messages I send, templates for that, because I do a birthday offer for any of my customers that have a birthday that month. So I have a template that is what I send out the first day of the month, and then what I send out the day before the last day of the month to all those people. My social media planning. So I keep a spreadsheet of my personal page, my group page, and then my business page and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. And then I will plan out for the week what's going up there. I save ideas. You can save things on Facebook. I save them. I have a little category called Park Lane Ideas. You can have theme days. You can kind of do this however you want, but just think of like processes that make things just run smoothly so you don't even have to think about them. Like I keep a running list of ideas of what I want to post. Like for example, at the beginning of the month, I'll always post the new Sparkle Box. At the end of the month, I will always post last day for Sparkle Box. There's certain things that are happening. Also right before the beginning of the month, I'll always do like, who are my birthday girls, like pop in with your birthday. And I would probably forget to do that if I didn't have it written down that I just do that automatically. Online show scripts, in-person show scripts for my Facebook events. My presentation I do at the shows is all pretty much bulleted out. It's the same thing I do for online shows, and I kind of have just a structure of how I do it, and I do it every time. I will tweak it based on new products that come or specials that we're having, but it's pretty much the same concept, so it's just easy. I'm not rethinking it every time. All of that. So I know it may sound a little bonkers to you that I have processes and systems for everything, but I do. Okay, I have to speed things up because I have to go inside and pick up my son in a second. So I think we're on 5. Number 5 is to use lists for everything. I have lists for everything because I have mom brain. So I feel like I just have so many things in my head. I can't keep them all in my head. This is why I have these processes, have these systems. But I have lists for everything too. So I have like sort of a running business to-do list and a running personal to-do list because you're not going to get to everything, all your ideas like this week or today. But I have a lot of things I want to do and that are on my radar, but they're more projects for down the road. So I always keep those so I don't lose them. And then I have like a daily prioritized to-do list that I keep. I have lists for shopping. So like on my phone, I have like, as things occur to me, like we just ran out of whatever, olive oil. I know that I need to get olive oil next time. So I write it on my list because I'll forget by the time that I'm doing my Sunday night ordering. And then the other list I love, this is a key one that's made a big difference, is a waiting on list. Because sometimes, have you ever like tossed something out to someone like, hey, can you do this? And then in your mind, you're like, okay, that's done, check the box. But it's actually not, the box is not checked because the person has not replied back to you or done that thing or followed up on it. So I keep a waiting on list so that I can look through that every now and then and be like, oh, that person never really got back to me about that. I'm going to ping them again. So I don't know, that was like a great tip I learned once that kind of changed things for me. Okay, those are the 5 things I wanted to cover. What kind of planner do you have for these systems? So most of like the processes and systems I have are either Word documents or Excel documents. It's kind of where I tend to be on my computer a lot, and I do it that way. That's where I track all my follow-up, all my reach outs for booking and recruiting and all of that. And then it's easy for me to kind of go through, because I will always put like for booking, if someone says, you know, not now, but after the new year or something, like I would put like, you know, when the next reach out is, January. So most stuff is actually electronic. It's not, I mean, it's not like a, how do I say this? It's like a system that works for me. And you know, it has worked. I think everyone has to figure out the system that works for them. Some people are more paper people. My daily to-do list is a paper list. I actually have, I don't have it here in the car. It's on my kitchen island at home, but it's actually from Belinda Ellsworth, makes like a direct sales planner. And that's what I use for my daily planning. And it plans your day out in like half-hour increments. So after I look at my, you know, my time block that I've created, and then I look at what I actually have scheduled in that day that I have to get done in case, like I said, if any appointments get in the way of those blocks, and then I will reblock the whole day, every day. It's like either the night before or the first thing I do in the morning. So I can share the link for that. I really like that planner. But that's what I do for my days, and then everything else is electronic. But I do have to run. But if you're watching this on replay, let me know you watched it on replay. And if you have any questions as you're watching this, comment below, because I will be going home and I will check this and I can answer any questions. I still have 2 more days of the team takeover, so I can address other questions and answers and that kind of thing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will be back at you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.